U.S. officials have reportedly warned that Moscow could launch an anti-satellite nuclear weapon into orbit this year, a potentially devastating capability that sent shockwaves nationwide, though Russian President Vladimir Putin denied the Kremlin has any intention of putting such a weapon in space. A nuclear weapon launched into space would violate the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, a United Nations resolution Russia signed that prohibits countries from placing nuclear weapons or similar weapons of mass destruction into orbit, on the Moon or on any other celestial body. Violating the treaty could result in sanctions from other countries, Business Insider reported, potentially adding to a slew of sanctions Moscow has faced since invading Ukraine 2 years ago. Stephen Andreasen, a nuclear analyst with the University of Minnesota's Humphrey School of Public Affairs, told the New York Times that the treaty is one of several Russia could likely exit, including the New START treaty that limits nuclear weapons, which expires in February 2026. By exiting the Outer Space Treaty and letting the New START treaty expire, Russia could open the floodgates for other countries to put nuclear weapons in space, adding that by launching nuclear weapons into space, you can use them for more than taking out satellites. Putin dismissed the idea that Russia has intentions of deploying a nuclear weapon into space in a meeting with Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu on Tuesday, according to translations by multiple outlets, denouncing the Biden administration's confirmation just last week that Russia had obtained what it called a troubling anti-satellite capability. Russian officials have maintained the country is not involved in a covert plan to launch nuclear weapons into space. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov suggested last week that reports of such a weapon amounted to a White House trick, intended to motivate lawmakers to approve additional military aid to Ukraine, Russian state news agency TASS reported. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov also dismissed the reports, calling them a malicious fabrication. The mysterious saga over a potential Russian space-bound nuclear weapon comes as tensions between Moscow and Washington boil over, as Russia's war in Ukraine is poised to enter its third year and U.S. lawmakers debate sending more aid to Ukraine. Concerns over a space-bound nuclear weapon made national headlines last week, after Turner issued a warning over a serious national security threat, calling on President Joe Biden to declassify intelligence information on the potential threat. While officials were initially mum on the matter, multiple outlets soon reported the threat pertained to Russia, and potentially had to do with a Russian nuclear weapon that could target satellites in orbit. Some lawmakers downplayed Turner's warning, including Representative Jim Himes, D-Conn.